Welcome in, welcome in. We are going to be doing some LPN or RN math tonight, some prerequisites. So if you know any future nurses out there or future medical care people struggling to pass with the math, please share this live out with them. Double tap your screen if you're bouncing out. I appreciate every like. And welcome in, y'all. Thank you for the double taps. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's do number one. So this is basic operations on integers, okay? So first thing we have to do is we have to do parentheses, okay? So 4 minus 6 is going to be negative 2. Now we have to keep parentheses around this negative 2 because it has a number attached to it. So that's why we're going to keep that and drop down that 2 and drop down the plus 3. Now we have multiplication here before addition. So a positive times a negative is a negative. 2 times 2 is 4. And then we add 3. What is our answer? Put in the chat. What are you getting as your answer? Negative 4 plus 3. Thank you for the double taps. Wiz said negative 1. Miss Shy said negative 1. Love it. Yes. User said negative 1. Beautiful. That is negative 1. All right. Perfect. Let's go to the next. So we're going to start with parentheses first. So we can start with our first parentheses. 6 minus 12. Remember, you're starting at positive $6. You just spent $12. You owe somebody 6. Okay. We don't necessarily have to put the parentheses because there's no number attached in front of it. So we're going to drop down the plus. Now here we have double parentheses. So we're going to work inside our first parentheses. So I'm going to do 15 plus, and then 4 minus 20. That's going to give me a negative 16. All right. I'm dropping down my negative 6 plus 15 minus 16. That gets me a negative 1 here. What is my final answer? Put your final answer in the chat. What are you getting? Thank you, 98 Travels, for the follow. Thank you, Maggie, for sharing the live. Thank you for the double taps. Miss Shay said negative 7. Negative 7. Beautiful. Yes. Be careful here because this is like somebody borrowed $6 from you and they said, let me get one more, where they're going to owe you a total of $7. Good, you guys. All right, let's hit up number 3. So we have 4 minus 6 divided by 2 times a negative 3 plus 5. Put in the chat, where are you starting with this problem? Where do you have to start with? Put 2 numbers that you're starting with. Let me see it in the chat. Thank you so much for the rose. Thank you. 6 divided by 2. Yes, let's go, Bean. Yes, Rena. Janae. Beautiful, you guys. That's exactly where we have to start. Now, don't forget you got this negative here attached to the 6. So this is negative 6 divided by 2, which is going to give us negative 3. Okay. We're going to drop down everything else that we didn't use. Okay, perfect. Now, what are we doing next? Put your next 2 numbers in. What are you doing next? Thank you so much for the roses. 3 and 3. Let's go. Yes. Perfect. We're going to multiply. Before we subtract and add, we got to multiply. So a negative times a negative is always a positive. 3 times 3 is 9. Then we have this plus 5 here that we didn't use, and this 4 that we didn't use. And then we're just going to add. 4 plus 9 gives us 13. 13 plus 5 gives us 18. And that's our answer. Any questions on that one? Any questions? Beautiful, D. All right, let's keep on going then. Number 4. Oh, somebody had a question? No, it's division first. Parentheses. No, don't say you're going to fail it. We're just starting. All right, so D said we got to do parentheses first. I love it. We always go start with our parentheses. 12 minus 7 is 5. We're going to drop down that power of 2 divided by 5 minus 2. All right. We got to do this exponent. Tell me what you get when you have this exponent. What are you getting here? When we do 5 to the second power. Good. Cashin said 25, 25, 25. Simmer next door. Hey, hey, hey. Lacole. Hey, Lacole. Yes, we get 25. You guys, I could not make it at 1 today because I forgot my babies had doctor's appointments. But we back on tomorrow at 1, okay? But I said, let me just jump on, see who's going to come on. So thank you for joining me. All right. So 25 divided by 5. How are you getting the 25, please? Oh, yes, we're getting the 25 because what this power of 2 tells us that we have to do 5 times 5. Because this tells us how many 5s we're multiplying. And that's how we get the 25. Great question. So now we have to do division. 25 divided by 5 is just 5 minus 2, 3. And that's our answer. Good. 3, 3, 3. Good. I see those answers coming in. Let's go. Rena. Yes. All right. Let's do number 5. Let's do number 5. So now some of us are probably ready to like, I'm done here. Fractions, no thank you, right? So let's bear down. Let's bear down. Okay. We have 5/4 plus 9/8. Remember, when you add fractions, you have to have the same denominator. That means the same bottom number. What can I have to make these the same? What's called the LCD? What is our least common denominator here? 8, 8, 8. Good. It is 8. Yes, it's 8. So if I know I need an 8 here and an 8 here, right? Well, this already has an 8, so I ain't doing nothing to that. I'm just copying that. But this is not an 8. So what I have to do is I have to think, how can I make a 4 go to an 8? Well, I can only do that through multiplication. 4 times what gives me 8? Put it in the chat. What am I looking for? Good. King Cash said times by 2. Let's go. We have to times by 2. And what we do to the bottom, we got to do to the top. So 5 times 2 gives us 10. Now, our denominator stays the same. And our numerators we can add. So what's 10 plus 9? 19. Now, I'm pretty sure like on a lot of the HESI and a lot of the TEAS tests, they will not allow you to leave this like this. They're going to change it to a mixed number. So let's just go ahead and do that, okay? So you're going to do 8 into 19. How many 8s can fit into 19? No, we can't reduce it. Simple 2. Good. Be careful because we can't reduce it, but we can change it to a mixed number. So 2 times 8 is 16. Subtract. and we get a 3. Now, with your remainder, that's going on the top, and what you're dividing by goes on the bottom. So you get 2 3/8. Okay. Any questions on that one? Good, you guys. Alex, let's go. Yeah, good, Les. Okay, let's go to number 6 then. Why is the common denominator not 2? Because why it cannot be 2 is because 8 can't fit into 2 and 4 can't fit into 2. See, when we come up with a common denominator, both of the numbers have to be able to go into that number. Does that make sense to you? See, I can't divide 8. Like, see, if I make this 2, there's 8 times nothing can give me 2. Oh, yes, I remember now. Good. Great question. Great question. Now, it's not the greatest common factor either, because really 4 would be the greatest common factor. All right, let's go to number 6. So evaluate. Let's go to number 6 and find the common denominator, okay? We have to think of a number that 7 and 5 can both go into. Does anybody know that number? 35. GM said 35. Beautiful. Jane, good. Yes, 35 is our answer. Now, some people are like, well, how are you getting 35? 7 times 5. See, this is a prime number. A prime number is only 1 times 7 will give it to you, and 1 times 5 will give it to you. So that's why these are called prime numbers. When you have 2 prime numbers in your denominator, the only way to come up with the LCD is to multiply them together. Okay, so that's how we're getting 35. Well, if that's the case, then I have to multiply this by 5. But what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So that's why I'm multiplying this by 5. This equation I have to multiply by 7. All right, put it in the chat. What am I writing right here? If you're following, tell me, what am I writing right here? 10. Lady, yes. Nicole. Good. Yes, I'm writing 10 here. Why am I writing 10? Because it's 2 times 5. That gets me 10. Well, the only way I can get 35 here is by doing 5 times 7. That's why I'm multiplying by 7 here. So I have to do 3 times 7, which is going to give me 21. All right. Remember, your denominator stays the same. What is our numerator? -11. Good. Be careful. Don't forget that sign, because we have a positive $10 you're starting with. You spent 21. You owe somebody $11. That's how come it's negative. And we don't have to change this to a mixed number, you guys, because when your numerator, the top part, is smaller than the denominator, this is called a proper fraction. So we can just leave it. Thank you for the double taps, you guys. All right. Any questions on this one? Wait, where did the 10 come from? By us doing 2 times 5. That's where the 10 came from. How do you get the 7 and the 5? You get, because we want our bottom numbers to be 35, we ask ourselves, 7 times what can get us 35? Well, 5 can. And whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top. Same thing over here. You have to ask yourself, I need this 5 to go to a 35. The only way I can make this 5 go to a 35 is by timesing by 7. But what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. Aurora, I'm going to be doing ASVAB over on my YouTube page after this. Okay, so if you join me over there, I'm going live on my YouTube page, finishing up an ASVAB test. Why do we need it to be 35? You need it to be 35 because you have to come up with the same common. In order for us to add or subtract fractions, you guys, you have to have the same number on the bottom. Well, the only way you can make 7 and 5 the same number is by them being 35, okay? And you only do that with addition and subtraction. Let's go to number 7, okay? Because number 7, we're multiplying. We never, ever need the same common denominator when we multiply or divide, okay? So, I always teach my kids or my students, or if I'm tutoring somebody, I try to teach them to cross simplify. So, do you see any numbers that we can cross simplify out? Put it in the chat. Oh, thank you, Blue Girl. 5 and 10. Good. Hey, Carol. So I saw 5 and 10 first, so that's what I'm going to do first. So 5 and 10. So 5 and 10, what we can do is we can divide this by 5, and we could divide this by 5. Well, 5 divided by 5 goes to a 1, and 10 divided by 5 goes to a 2. Okay, now a lot of people were saying 3. Well, I can divide 3 by 3 and 9 by 3. So 3 divided by 3 goes to a 1, and 9 divided by 3 goes to a 3. Now, whenever we multiply numerator with numerator and denominator with denominator. 3 times 2 is 6. And I saw that 1 6 in the chat. Beautiful. Yep, 1 6. Beautiful. Okay, let's go to number 8. Can we just change it to multiplication and flip? So, Simmer said, can we just change it to multiplication and flip the second fraction? Beautiful. Simmer next door, that's exactly what we have to do for the next one. Because remember, we can't divide fractions, right? So we say keep, change, flip. So 11 over 15 is going to stay the same. We're going to change that division to multiplication, and then we're going to flip, or reciprocal, 3 over 22. All right. Can we simplify? Can we cross simplify? Yes, on both. Both. Yes. Okay, so I see both here. Alejandra said 11 and 22. Beautiful. What am I dividing by, both of these? What am I dividing out there? Divide by 11. Mariah, let's go. Yes, Melissa, Carol, we're going to divide by 11. So 11 divided by 11 is going to a 1. 22 divided by 11 is going to 2. All right. Now we got this 3 and 15. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 goes to a 1. 15 divided by 3 goes to a 5. What is my answer? Put your answer in the chat. What am I writing here? 1 over 10. Yes, Shay. Kay, let's go. Melissa, yes. km. 1 times 1 is 1. 5 times 2 is 10. And this is my answer. Drave, yes, when I'm doing like algebra 2 or algebra 1, yes. Zeke said, clock it. Okay. All right, let's go to number 9. So evaluate. 4 over 5. Okay. We got some, this just took us out, right? Different denominators. We got subtraction here. Then we got division over here. Let's do this one first. Okay. Remember, whenever we're subtracting fraction, we have to have the same common denominator. What am I multiplying this 3 by to make it a 6? Carol said common denominator is 6. 2. Good, you guys. Yes, I have to multiply this by 2. So I'm going to do 2 times 2, which gives me 4. 3 times 2 is 6. Minus 7, 6. Okay, now that I have the same denominator, I can write this as a 6. And then, what is this? What's my numerator going to be? Good, -3. A negative. Yes, good. A -3 over 6. Now, I have to keep these parentheses because I have a number out here attached to them. So that's why they just can't disappear. So I'm going to keep that. Then I have this plus. Let's do what's inside here. Remember, we're using the keep, change, flip. So we're keeping a half. We're changing this to times. And we're going to do 8 over 5. What can we cross simplify out? Yeah, said 4. Let's go. The 8 and the 2. Yes. Kay said I get 8/10. Which is true. So if I don't want to cross out, right, you could get 8/10. But I'm going to cross out here because I'm going to divide this by 2, get a 1. And if I divide this by 2, I'm going to get a 4. So really, this gets me 4/5. Which if you reduce that 8/10, you're going to get 4/5. All right. We still got some multiplying here to do, right? But I'm going to divide. I want to do it bigger. Hold on. I'm going to do it over here, okay? So I'm going to do 4/5 times -3 over 6. I said even over even, I know I can divide out at least a 2. So 4 divided by 2 goes to a 2. 6 divided by 2 goes to a 3. Well, looky. 3 over 3. What's happening here? 3 over 3. That's going to a 1. So I'm left with a -1 times 2. So -2 over 5 times 1 is 5. Plus my 4/5. Okay. Good. I see. Julian said -2 over 5. Let's go. Oh, now you said 2 over 5. Good. Kai said 2 over 5. Beautiful. Yes. So our answer for -2 is 2 and then 5. And that's our beautiful answer, you guys. All that hard work. Hey, Miss Walker. Welcome. Okay. This is some ratios, you guys. Oh, are you lost on this one? What are you lost on, Kaya? I know you guys can't really see this one. This is so long. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, so let's go to, should we skip these, you guys, because you guys can't really see them, or do you want me to just read them? Put it in the chat. Are we skipping these because we can't see them all? Or do you want me to just read them to you guys? Skip. Okay. Yeah, let's skip. Skip. Okay, let's go here. Okay. So here we go. Now we're converting between fractions, decimals, and percents. You gotta know this for sure. Okay, so write 4/5 as a decimal and a percent. Okay, now what I always tell my ASVAB people and my HESI or TEAS people, there's certain fractions that if you just have memorized, it will save you 1,010 timefold, okay? I'm going to just teach you guys real quick. Okay, 1/4. This is always a quarter. So if we know that 1/4 is a quarter, then 1/2 has to be what? Put it in the chat. Good, Nicole. Yes. 50 cent. Yes, it has to be 50 cent. Okay, 50 cent. 3/4. How many quarters does that equate to? 0.75. Let's go. Yes. 75 cents. And that's why 4/4 is $1. Okay. So these, always remember. Now let's go to fifths, the fifth family. How I remember the fifth family is I think about 100. There's $20 that makes, there's 5 20s that make 100. So 1/5 is always 0.2, $20. That means 2/5 has to be what? Put it in the chat. IHOP, let's go. Carol, let's go. 0.4. Because that's 2 20s. So 3 20s. 0.6. 4 20s. Oh, don't change it to a 20. 4 20s has to be 0.8. If you remember these, also I teach one more thing. You should always have this. 1/3, 2/3. 0.666 repeating, 0.333 repeating. If you have these just memorized where you can go back and forth, it will save you so much time and a lot of headache. Okay? So, now that we know that, this as a decimal is 0.8. How do I change this to a percent? Times by 100. Yes. Thank you, Freebie, for the roses. Thank you. So we times by 100, or you move the decimal place 2 places. Okay, I'm not going to write it on that one. But you have to move it 2 places to the right. 1, 2. And wherever you have a hump, you add a 0. So this is 80%. Any questions on that one? Julian said because 100 has 2 zeros. Thank you for that. Yes. Good. All right. Let's go to number 14 then. Wait, Auntie, how did you get 0.8? We got 0.8. So I was trying to explain. It takes 4 20s to get out of 5. So 4 20s is $80. So we just say 0.8. 3 20s is 60. Two 20s is 40. 1/5 is always $20 bill. So it's 0.2. So whenever you have a 5, think about how many 20s does it take to make 100. And then that will be easy to get it. Does that make sense? Got it. Okay, good. No, 5 20s. 5 20s makes 100. Not 4, 5. 4 quarters makes 100. Okay. All right. Number 14. We have a percent. We want to write it as a decimal. You can either divide this by 100 or after every whole number is a decimal, okay? You're going to move it 2 places to the right. So you get 0.35 as a decimal. And then to change it to a fraction, you just put 100 over it. Because this is tenths, hundredths spot. So since it ends in the hundredths spot, that's why we put 35 over 100. Now, I can guarantee you they're going to say reduce this. They're going to say simplify this. So how do we simplify this? Good. 7/20ths. Let's go. Divide. What are we dividing out? By 5. Yes. Because your divisibility rule, you guys, I didn't learn this till I was in college. I don't know what I was doing in 4th grade, but I'm telling you, I don't remember my teacher talking about no divisibility rules at all, okay? But if you know your divisibility rule for 5, it says if the number ends in 5 or 0, you can divide by 5. 5 has to go into it, okay? So if the number ends in 0 or 5, well, 5 times what gets me 35? 7. How many 20s, right? That's a 20. 20 times 5 gets me 100. The only way you could teach cosine and sine by hand is if you're doing like special right triangles where you know like the 45, 45, 30, 60, 90, you could do it by hand. But if it's any other degree besides that, no. Or like if you use the unit circle, I guess. Thank you so much for grabbing your heart, Mean Jenny. All right, let's go to number 15. Hey, Alex. Aaliyah, I wish. I let all my calc skills go. It's so sad. When you teach, you know, because I used to teach in public school for like 7 years. And you know when they stick you, like when you're like good, like they stick you in a place. So I taught Algebra 1 and geometry. And then I also taught like Edgenuity, so like pre-calc. There's a couple of students that came, Algebra 2. On that, I don't know if anybody heard of Edgenuity, but like kind of when you're like good, they kind of stick you. Like I was a teacher where the students came as a last resort before having to go to Edgenuity. So I taught a lot of like kids failed the first time in a year long, and then you came to me in a quarter, like to shorten it up, half a semester. So that's what I did for 7 years, and I let all my calculus skills go. It's so sad. Write 1.25 as a percent. Okay, whenever we're changing a decimal to a percent, we're multiplying by 100. What does that mean? We're moving our decimal place 2 spaces to the right. Okay, so this is going to be 125%. All right. Now, how do we write this as a fraction? Put your answer in the chat. How do we write it as a fraction? 1 and 1. Good. We can do it like that. Okay, I see people writing it 2 different ways, which is really good. I see some people writing it as 125 over 100. And then I see some people writing it like 1 and 1/4. This is simplified, but this is a mixed number. So I don't know if that qualifies as a fraction. Do you get what I'm saying? So make sure you follow what they're asking for. This is a mixed number, not a fraction. Here, you gave me a fraction, but it's not simplified. So how do we simplify this? Good. Okay, now I said, okay, then 5/4. Yes, Nino. Let's go. Okay, so we said 5/4. Anybody got any questions on why it's 5/4? Divide by 25. Okay. Let's do it. Let's divide by some quarters. Okay, how many quarters does it take to make us 100? Put in the chat, how many quarters do we get to make us $1? 4. Beautiful. Okay, so then how many quarters is it going to get us to make 125? Melissa said 5. 5. Yes. Dirty said 5. Braxton, let's go. It's going to take us 5 quarters because if 100 is 4 and we just got one more 25, it has to be 5/4. And this, I would say I would put just because they said a fraction. But it all depends on your instructor, right? They're like, oh, okay, it just depends. But both, I would take both of these. This, you have to simplify it. Okay. But wonderful work, you guys. All right. We just made it to comparing fractions and decimals. We're going to use this less than, greater than, or equal to compare. Ooh, I can't stand these. All right. So what we writing? Less than, greater than, or equal to? Okay, I see greater than. This is where I get stuck doing these. Me either. Okay. Oh, I see less than, I see greater than. Okay, I saw a whole bunch of greater thans. So why y'all saying that? Okay, so let's see. There's multiple ways we can do this. You can come up with the same common denominator, but that's only good if you're good at what's the common denominator between these. Hey, Math Discovery. Math Discovery said 44. USD said 44. Gigi, hey, hon. Okay, so we got 4. Okay, so we said 44. Okay, that's what we're going to come up with. So we're going to say times this by 11. Ooh. And times this by 4. I don't like it. I don't like it. Times by 11, right? Ooh, I don't like it. Because I don't feel like doing 15 times 11. So somebody said, nah, I'm going to just divide them. Well, let's see if we could just divide them. 4 into 15, right? So 4 goes into 15 3 times. 3 times 4 gives us 12. We subtract. 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay. Okay, we got 3 and 3/4. We know what that 3/4 is because that's 3/4. Okay, let's go over here. So then if we do 11 into 16, well, 11 goes into 16 one time. we can already tell just by this is 3, this is 1. So this has to be greater than. Because 3 is greater than 1. We didn't even have to finish it out. So, but can we do the butterfly method when you don't have an equal sign between them? Does it work when you don't have an equal sign? Does that cross butterfly method work? No. Okay. No. Okay. Oh, so somebody said yes, and then somebody said no. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at number 17. Are you guys putting less than, greater than, or equal to? Equal, equal, equal. Yes. Okay. We see a whole bunch of equal. Now this, hey Dolores. Okay, so we put equal. Beautiful. Now, is anybody lost on why we're putting equal? Yes, I do, love. If you email me, could you show? Yes, Kaya, I sure can. Okay, if email me if you guys are interested in tutoring. Email me at impactmath19@gmail.com. And if you're looking for replays of my lives, go follow me on YouTube at impactmath19, okay? All right, so let me show you why this is equal. Remember that common denominator thing that we're saying? Well, 5 times what gives me 25? Well, if I multiply this by 5, and I multiply this by 5, 6 times 5 gets me 30, over 5 times 5 gets me 25. And that's why this is actually this. Yep. Oh, good, good, good. Okay, Darren. Good. I'm glad you guys see it. All right, let's go to number 18. So we have 0.012. Is it less than, greater than, or equal to? Carol said less than. Baby girl said less than. Greater, greater. Less than, less than. You guys, this is strictly based off of, do you know your place value? And let me explain. We have 0/10. Here we have 1/10. Which one is bigger? Well, 1/10 is bigger than 0, so that's why this side has to be greater than, so it's less than. So how I used to look at this when I used to, because this used to tear me up, okay? I'm telling you, because I didn't understand place value. But if I make them the same, this is like saying 120, and then this is like saying 12, right? Because even if we put the 0 there, it's $12 is less than 120. Do you see it now? Pac-Man eats the bigger one. Oh, okay, good. Good. Okay. Beautiful. Let's do this last one. 19. Oh, you're so welcome, Joyful. 1.201. Is it less than or greater than 1.015? Y'all, really, I didn't start understanding this till I got into crypto. Cause when this changed, ooh, your money be 10 times in. Greater than, let's go. Yes, greater than. Beautiful, because even if we get rid of the 1, right? $201 is bigger than 15. So it is greater. Beautiful. All right. How we feeling, y'all? We still holding on? Y'all want to keep on going? How we feeling? Thank you, Miss. Thank you for the roses. Miss Choke. I think that's how you say your name, Miss Choke. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you for the roses. Okay. Yes, the next one. Okay, we're hanging on. All right, let's keep it pushing then. Okay, so we're calculations of percents. Okay, calculation of percents. What is 25% of 60? Does anybody know? Celia said 15. Sia said 15. Perfect. Math Discovery said 15. Now, this is why I was telling you to be able to go back to decimal to fraction. Because for me, if I know 25%, well, that just means I'm taking a fourth times 60. Well, a fourth of 60 really just means if I divide, well, let me just multiply, right? Even if I can't even see that. If I just do 60 over 4, well, I can reduce this down. I can divide this by 2, and I can divide this by 2. Let's say if I can't see the 4, they both evens, I can half it. So 60, half of 60 is going to give me 30. Half of 4 is 2. Oh, well, let me just do it by 30 divided by 2. What's that give me? 30 divided by 2, 15. And that's how you can get 15. Without having to do 60 times a decimal. No, don't say that. You are not. Sometimes it's just easier. Sometimes it's easier for people just to do. Okay, Dolores, good night. And I'll be back on at 1. Thank you, Miss Choke, for the roses. Can we do another example? Yes, let's do another example. So let's take a quarter of, somebody put it in the chat. What should we take a quarter of? The first person I see, we'll do that. Okay, so a fourth. What number should we take a fourth of? Okay, 26, 300. We could do, I saw 300 before 26. So let's do 300. Okay. All right. 300 over 1, right? We're multiplying. So 1 times 300 gives us 300. 4 times 1 gives us 4. Okay. Even over even. These are even numbers. I'm going to take divide by 2. Half of 300, we would get 150. Half of 4, we would get 2. Okay, we got to split 150 in half. This is how I was taught to do it. Break down 100. What's half of 100? Well, half of 100 is 50. What if we have to split 50 cents? We're each getting a quarter, right? So 50 plus 25, 75. Yes, Star. Any questions on that one? What's that called? Just taking a fourth of a number. So the 2 just disappeared. Yeah, because we did 100 divided by 2. So we're really dividing this by 2 and dividing this by 2. So 2 divided by 2 goes to a 1. That's why it's gone. Can you do an odd number? We can do, let's do 26, like somebody said. Let me show you. So a fourth of 26, because this is going to come out as a decimal. So we'll get here over 1. Then we say 26 over 4, right? They're both even right now. So we could divide by 2, divide by 2. Well, 26 divided by 2 is going to give me 13. 4 divided by 2 gets me 2. Okay. Well, what's half of 13? Let's split this. We have 10 and a 3. Half of 10 gets me 5. If we have to split $3, me and my sibling were going to the store. Our mama gave us $3. How much do we each get if we have to split this $3? $1.50. Let's go. Yes, $1.50. So this is just going to be $1.50 here. Then we add them. 5 plus 1 gets us $6.50. Oh, thank you, Gigi, for stopping by. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Okay, Blue said, do another one. What we doing, Blue? Put it in the chat. Thank you, Miss Choke. Give me a number, Blue. Good from the 6. Okay, good. You kind of get it? Yes, you're so welcome. Okay, 439. Okay. Ooh, this one is going to be kind of difficult because 1/4 times 439. All right. Now, the problem with this is an odd number and this is an even. So we can't divide by 2 at first. So when this is the case, then we just got to go old school division. 4 into 439. You got to go old school. 4 goes into 4. 1. 1 times 4 gives us 4. We subtract. Okay. Drop down that 3 because we get 0 here. 4 doesn't go into 3. So we have to put a placeholder. 0. 0 times 4 gets us 0. We subtract. Now we drop down the 3. Bring down the 9. All right. How many 4s can go into 39? Put it in the chat. How many 4s can go into 39? 9. Good. Yes. 9. So we say 9 times 4 gives us 36. Well, we would get a 3 here and we would have 3/4. So 109 and 3/4, which remember, how many quarters is that? 109.75. I was like, Blue, you showing out with this big old number, okay? But we did it, okay? Beautiful. All right, let's go to the next. So 45 is what percent of 130? So for me, I always translate it into an equation. So 45 means equal. What percent? I don't know. So I'm going to put an X. Of means times. So I'm going to put times 130. All right. We need X by itself. So what do we have to do? Divide. Good. What are we dividing by? $45. Divide by the 130. Yes. See, I can't divide by 45 because I don't got no variable by it. Remember, I'm trying to solve for this x. So I have to divide by the 130. This is gone. And now, remember, this is just going to give me a decimal. Remember, in order to change anything to a percent, you have to multiply by, hopefully it's screaming in your head, 100. Well, let's do that. Okay, let's do that. Okay, I see a 0 over a 0. I'm going to cancel out this 0, cancel out that 0. All right, that's all I could do. So 45 times 10 gets me 450 over 13 times 1 gets me 13. All right, now I got to divide this. So I got to do 13 into 450. How many 13s can fit into 45? Carol said 3. Your favorite Cancer said 3. Good. Amanda said 3. I love it, Blue. Good. Only 3 can. Because 3 times 13, well, 3 times 3 is 9. And then 3 times 1 is 3. So 39 can fit under 45. Okay, now we subtract. I can't take away 5 from 9. So I have to borrow here. Make this a 3. Make this a 15. 15 minus 9, I think this is going to be 6. 3 minus 3, that goes. So then I drop down my 0. All right. How many 13s can fit? 6. We got 7. Oh, we got 4. 4. Okay. Is it 4? We kind of all over the place on this one. So let's see. 4 times 3 gives me 12. Carry the 1. 4 times 1 plus 1 gives me 5. Yep. Because if I add 13 more, that'll be too much. Good. So then I minus 60 minus 52. Remember, you have to borrow here. Make this a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. And then you would have 8 over 13. Yeah. We'll write it as, what did they say? Just find the percent. Remember, this is the percent, so we got to do that. I mean, we could have kept on going, change this to a decimal, and then put a 0, but we'll just leave it like that. Aw, thank you, your favorite Cancer. Thank you for joining us tonight. You guys, my alarm did just go off. I am supposed to be doing ASVAB on YouTube right now. Unfortunately, I do have to get off. But we'll continue this because I know some people want to get to the conversions and proportion problems and so on. So we do have a little bit more on this test to do. They do have some statistics. I got to figure out how I'm gonna position my my phone for the long problems. But thank you so much, you guys. I will be here tomorrow at 1 Central Time. 1 o'clock Central Time, Monday through Saturday. All right, bye. Have a wonderful night, everyone. MK, I'm going to be on my YouTube page. All right, bye.